Have you ever looked at a map and wondered, why is Chile so long? It's that skinny strip of a country snaking down the western coast of South America, looking like it was stretched out by mistake. We're talking about a nation that stretches over 4,300 kilometers. That's more than the distance from New York to Los Angeles. Yet, at its widest point, it's barely 180 kilometers across. It's one of the most uniquely shaped countries in the world. So, what's the story behind this geographical curiosity? How did Chile end up so long and narrow? Well, the answer is a fascinating mix of geography, history, and a little bit of stubborn determination. Let's dive in and unravel the mystery of Chile's remarkable shape. To understand Chile, you first need to understand its neighbors. Not other countries, but two colossal natural barriers that have defined its existence for millennia. To the east, you have the mighty Andes Mountains, one of the longest and highest mountain ranges in the world. And to the west, the vast, endless expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Imagine being sandwiched between a giant wall and an even bigger moat. This is the geographical reality of Chile. The Andes act as a formidable barrier, effectively sealing off the country from the rest of the continent to the east. Meanwhile, the Pacific Ocean creates a natural boundary to the west. This unique placement left very little room for the country to grow sideways. So, if you can't go east and you can't go west, where do you go? You guessed it, north and south. The Andes Mountains aren't just a small range, they're an impenetrable wall of rock and ice that stretches the entire length of the country. For early settlers and even modern engineers, crossing them was and still is a monumental challenge. So, expanding eastward into Argentina was practically off the table. On the other side, the Pacific Ocean is an equally definitive border. You can't exactly build a country on water. This left only two viable directions for expansion: along the coast, stretching towards the equator in the north and towards the pole in the south. This geographical straitjacket is the fundamental reason for Chile's elongated shape. It was the path of least resistance, the only corridor available for the nation to grow. Now let's rewind the clock a bit and look at how history played its part. The story of modern Chile really begins with the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century. They established their first significant settlements in the fertile Central Valley, around the area where the capital, Santiago, is today. This region had a pleasant Mediterranean climate, perfect for agriculture, and it became the heartland of the new colony. As the population grew and the desire for more land and resources increased, the Spanish began to expand. But where could they go? Hemmed in by the mountains and the sea, they followed the natural corridor. They pushed northward, venturing into the arid lands of the Atacama, and southward into the dense, rainy forests of the indigenous Mapuche territory. This expansion wasn't a single event, but a slow, gradual process that unfolded over centuries. They followed the path laid out for them by geography, sticking to the coastal lowlands and valleys that were accessible and defensible. The country quite literally grew along the only available axis. Let's talk about that northern expansion. As the Spanish, and later the independent Chilean state, pushed north, they entered one of the most extreme environments on the planet, the Atacama Desert. This is officially the driest non-polar desert in the world. Some parts of it haven't seen significant rainfall in centuries. You might think, why would anyone want to expand into such a harsh, lifeless place? The answer, as it often is in history, lies buried underground. In the 19th century, the Atacama was discovered to be incredibly rich in valuable minerals, particularly nitrates, which were essential for making fertilizer and explosives. This sparked a resource boom. The demand for these minerals led to the War of the Pacific in the late 1870s, where Chile fought against Bolivia and Peru. Chile's victory in this war resulted in the annexation of these mineral-rich territories, significantly extending its northern border to its present-day location. This conflict cemented Chile's control over the Atacama and added a huge, economically vital stretch to its already long territory. The desert, once seen as a barrier, became a prize that made Chile even longer. While the North was being claimed for its mineral wealth, a different story was unfolding in the South. Pushing south from the Central Valley was a struggle against both nature and people. The landscape becomes progressively colder, wetter, and more rugged, with dense temperate rainforests, countless lakes, and a maze of islands and fjords. This region was also the homeland of the fiercely independent Mapuche people, who resisted Spanish and Chilean encroachment for centuries. The so-called pacification of Araucanía in the late 19th century finally brought this region under state control, allowing for further settlement and expansion. As you go even further south, you enter the breathtaking but formidable world of Patagonia. Here the Andes begin to crumble into the sea, creating a stunning but nearly impassable landscape of glaciers, ice fields, and jagged peaks. This remote and sparsely populated area forms the southern tip of Chile, stretching all the way down to Cape Horn. This southern expansion, a story of conflict and exploration, added the final piece to Chile's long, slender puzzle, extending it deep into the subpolar regions of the continent. So, what does it mean to be a country shaped like this in the 21st century? This unique geography gives Chile an incredible diversity of climates and landscapes. In a single country, you can experience the world's driest desert, Mediterranean-like climates, alpine tundras, and subpolar glaciers. It's an adventurer's paradise. However, this shape also presents some serious logistical challenges. Imagine trying to build and maintain infrastructure across a country that is over 4,000 kilometers long, but only a couple hundred kilometers wide. Transportation is a constant issue. A simple drive from the northern city of Arica to the southern tip of Punta Arenas would take you over 40 hours, and that's without stopping. Communication and national unity can also be challenging when communities are separated by such vast distances. Defending a border that long and thin is a military strategist's nightmare. Despite these hurdles, Chile has managed to build a cohesive national identity and become one of South America's most stable and prosperous nations, proving that you can thrive even in a geographical straitjacket. In the end, Chile's long, thin shape isn't an accident or a quirk of map-making. It's a story written into the very land itself. It's the result of being born between the immovable Andes Mountains and the infinite Pacific Ocean. It's a shape carved by centuries of history, from the first Spanish settlements spreading out from the central heartland to the wars fought over the mineral riches of the northern desert and the slow, arduous push into the wild, untamed south. Every kilometer of its length tells a part of this story. So the next time you look at a map of the world and your eye is drawn to that long, skinny country on the edge of a continent, you'll know exactly why it looks the way it does. It is a testament to how geography and history can conspire to create something truly unique on our planet. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey down the coast of Chile and want to learn more about the fascinating stories behind our world map, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We've got plenty more explanations and explorations coming your way. See you in the next video.